guys, what's going on, man? It's Double Deuce back, radio out of control. You'll see tonight we got headers. These are awesome. I'm telling you, I am totally blown away by those. They were expensive, but it was the best money I ever spent for a scale look and performance. You know, money buys horsepower. So now we're going to get to the review on the headers, and I'm going to show you the difference between the log manifold and the headers and what comes with them. And we're going to go over a new engine that is in the air out there. It's in development right now, and it is a V8. From what I understand, what I was told, it's a 120cc V8 32 valve. So hey, you know, grab your favorite smoke, beverage, popcorn, and it's Friday, and hang out with me tonight. Okay, here we go. You're gonna see the hobby table is super busy tonight. Like I said, it's Friday. I'm gonna knock back a couple of Coca-Colas, and I'm gonna give you guys an in-depth review of these headers for the G52 V8, and we're going to go over at the end of the video the new V8 that's coming out. And like I say, these things just keep getting better and better. So first we're going to start off with the log style. This was our option when we bought these, this log V8, which is kind of like the old Hemi, big block Chevy. But the problem is inside, let me get a flashlight. Throw it in here and show you guys the restriction that I was pointed out by Kenny from Sterling Kit Facebook page. Look how small that opening is in there. That is super tiny for 4 cylinders, man, on one side. So I mean, everything's open. It's breathable, but it's restricted right there. Look at that thing. That's nasty. That don't build horsepower. This builds horsepower. Look at the stunning quality of these headers. They are open all the way through, from the top all through the bends. And when you look inside, they're full openings coming into the collector. Can you guys see that in there? There's no restriction whatsoever. Now, I don't know if these are 3D printed or if they are casted. It looks like they're 3D printed to me, but nobody knows. Now, both of them are exactly symmetrical. They're exactly the same. So, here's, I want to point out, you can give it that muscle car look, like that. Or, if you would like to flip them upside down, you can bring them out like fender well headers. And you can bring them like, you know, further to the side to get the heat away from the engine. Now this is a possibility for my 55 Chevy Blasphemy build. If I can get these things out here like that, that keeps the heat away from the engine, and it gives me that fender well header exit that I would like to have. So, but what comes with the kit is an extra set of gaskets and hardware. Now, I've been waiting for these headers to show up so I can start building a frame for my 55 Chevy. These things are just amazing, I'm telling you. They are tough. They're not flimsy, they're not lightweight. They flex just a little bit, but when you bolt them on, they're not going to flex at all. And they're very, very thick, which is a good thing. it'll insulate the heat. So, like I say, you want the muscle car look, or if you want the Indy car look, fender well, headers, whatever you want to do, you can do that. Now, you see, I brought mine to look like a Chrysler Hemi, and so I'm going to have to make new mounting plates for the valve covers here, and I'll probably buy yellow silicone wire and replace all this so it looks like the Accel wires that they had back in the old days, you know. And now my next venture is I'm going to bolt these headers on there, and I'm going to fire it up because I want to hear the sound. And then I'm going to build a tunnel ram and bring these carbs up here. Now that we have good breathing capabilities down here, we got good ports inside and out. Now we need a tunnel ram. So this is where you start building horsepower. So, all right, guys, now let's get to the new V8. I'm going to pause the video for a second, and I'm going to bring up my laptop because these pictures have been circulating on the internet, and it's kind of like a tease thing. But I will tell you, it is the first ever crankshaft that's cross-drilled for oil journals. And so we're going to get to that now. So hang tight, have a sip of your drink, a little bit of your smoke, mouthful of popcorn, and I'll be right back. Okay, so here's what we got. Okay, this came from Mona at Sterling Kit. It says, hello Dennis, it's 120 cc's. You see that right there, 120 cc's. Now, let's go down to see what this engine's going to offer us. All right, you see it's got an alternator, it looks like to me, with brackets, super scale. These here, I'm not quite sure what these are. These look like something to do with the intake manifolds. They've not mentioned anything about this. I don't really see it as a turbo on each one, but I don't know, you know, because these look very similar to many things that can go on an engine. So anyways, you guys look at that and you tell me what you think, and then we'll go to the bottom, and you're going to see again this has 3 rings. You got 2 compression rings and an oil ring, and then underneath you have holes drilled in the piston to bring the oil to lubricate the wrist pin. And if you see the rods here, they're kind of an I-beam rod, you know. This is what I'm picking up off these pictures they sent me. And like I say, this is a prototype. And all these pictures have been on Facebook, on the Sterling Kit Facebook page. And you see that they're putting in your valve guides. So it is a true 32 valve V8. Now, what I find is interesting is the cutout around the cylinder valves, okay, to help cool. So hopefully the block is open too to match that, because it's going to help cool this thing even more. So that's about all I got with this one. And like I say, I will bring you more when I find out, because things like this I like to see. Now, I had mentioned something on the Sterling Kit Facebook page. Looks like the starter comes in from the back side of the block. Okay, I'm going to pull this out a little bit. You'll see there's a starter mount for a starter motor, and it looks like it comes in from the back. It doesn't look like it goes through under the intake manifold. I hope they don't do that, because that was a dreaded North Star Cadillac debacle, and the Chuan V8, you got to tear the intake off to change the starter motor. So hopefully this is something that is going to be, you know, rectified. But it is a dual overhead cam engine, and there's pictures floating around out there. I haven't got all of them yet, but give me your thoughts and tell them what you think of that engine. Put that in the comments, because all this stuff is getting better and better and better. And like I said before, you know, when we can get super scale headers that actually function properly, this is going in a great direction. I am happy as a pig in a poke. So, all right, guys, I'm gonna turn the camera around here and sign off. You guys put your thoughts below, because like I say, they're reading them now. Like I said in the beginning of all this stuff, this has always been the dawning edge of a trial and error thing that maybe they didn't know if it was going to work out. We didn't know it was going to work out. So we bought, but we had problems. So now, through all the problems, we learn. This is called engineering. This is what happens. And when you learn, you make things better. You make them more reliable. So, and like I say, the V12 build here that I have, right there, this thing is stunning. You know, it's like, it's getting better and better and better. The only problem that I have with this engine is a little bit of heat. So, but we'll figure that out. Not a big deal. And if they do machine work on that, it's going to raise the price of the engine. So if we can rectify that heat problem without redoing the castings of the engine, it'll still be very affordable. And like I say, it's now we have a wide range of stuff, and it makes me happy because, like I said, back in, you know, the early years when I was stuffing two-stroke engines in my bruisers and making my own frames and all this stuff, I wanted that scale detail with the four-stroke. You know, now we got V12s, we got V8s, we got, you know, 4 cylinders. We have many engines out there, and I don't want to fail to mention, but that 120cc V8 I just showed you there is going to have a full reel oiling system in it with a cross-drilled crank. Hopefully they'll use a high volume oil pump, not a high pressure one. And I don't know if the oil is going to get to the heads, because that creates problems too when you bring oil upstairs instead of grease. Grease works fine with those engines because we only run them temporarily. We're not driving from here to, you know, the West Coast or the East Coast or whatever, you know, putting our families in them. We're just playing with them on the weekends or whatever, showing our friends. But if they bring oil upstairs, they're going to have valve seals, which are going to have rubber rings under the springs on the valve stem itself to keep the oil from burning through and burning out the exhaust. Because we don't want to take these beautiful headers and stuff them up with oil gunk. You know what I mean? So hopefully they will come up with a nice set of headers for the V12, and they will come up with a nice set of headers for the new engine that they come out with the 120cc one. There's really, the only thing I know about that engine is I think it's a Chuan V8. So I've had the Enjomore V8s. Now the Chuan joined with Chuan to make that V8. So I don't know how them names are placed or what happens, or for different companies. It's all you know, it's all a guess that we all have to kind of figure out. So if anybody's got any information about that, that would be interesting, because we need to narrow this down, and when we spend our hard-earned money on stuff, we want it to be cool. So now, one thing I forgot to tell you about with the headers, it comes with mufflers, silencers, 2 of these, and they actually bolt right to the back They slide over, and there's a clamp there. So you can have silencers here, or you can make extensions for them. And, you know, like I say, however you want to set these on your build, you have 2 mufflers too. And these mufflers are expensive, I'm telling you. So we get 2 of those with the kit, gaskets, and a full bolt kit, which you're going to put in your junk box, and you're going to use the original one. So anyways, guys, love to all. Like, share, subscribe if you want. And peace, man. I'll catch you later.